Okay. Alrighty, everyone, welcome. Episode 6 of ChatGDG. This is not live. We are recording this the day before because unfortunately I cannot be there at 7:30 on a Tuesday. So we're going to recording this on a Monday and we're going to stream this on a Tuesday at 7:30, but that's not live. So ChatGDG episode number 6 with Muhammad, welcome. Is not a global talent. He is an exceptional global talent. So,
Thank you so much,
that's
Stefano.
that's very interesting. So, welcome. I'm really glad to have you on the show. There are definitely a few interesting topics that we can discuss. But first thing first, if you don't mind, can I ask you to introduce yourself?
Right. Thank you so much, Stefano. It is very good to be here at ChatGDG, which is actually very unique name you have thought of, and I think it is great platform to share the stories and discussing the technologies and the ecosystem. So this is Muhammad Asadullah. I am 24 years old, global exceptional talent. I was recognized on the basis of my success stories globally in the field of digital technology and innovation, and I migrated to London 2 months ago, and I am exploring the opportunities around in the startup ecosystem and the organizational level. I have experience of project management and product management mainly, and these are my expertise where I help the companies with their management and managing the organizations. So I think we can start with that introduction.
Pretty cool. So I know, unfortunately, very little about this program, this exceptional global talent. Like how difficult it is.
Yes,
How,
so
what's the competition like?
right. So it is like open to every part of the you can say globally everyone can take part in that program. It is actually every country has their global talent programs. Like in the USA, it is known as EB1A, that is called as a Einstein visa or Einstein
Hmm.
program. So right, in Australia there is a global talent stream. In Dubai, it is known as Golden Visa. Right. So there are many
Okay.
different criteria every country has. For the UK, they want you to be exceptional in your field. You must have achieved some level of recognition at your uh, role or in your industry, where you are known as a industry leader or a, you can say, promising leader, and you should have some unique achievements which no one should be having, or you can say you should be at among the top number 1% of the people. So if I tell about myself, I was, you can say, among top 1% developers on Stack Overflow, and that was like one of the
Okay.
important recognitions I had. And it actually needs, you can say, years long work, right? No one can build his or her resume in just one day and present him or herself as a global talent. It is actually, you should be following some stream from years long, right? You should have some track of your success stories in your field at global level. You should be like having have taken some industry leadership roles. So like it is pretty much all, everything is included in that expertise.
Wow, pretty interesting. So yeah, that you said something very valuable here. That of course, whether you want to apply to this specific program or any program, it's not something that you can do in 10 minutes. It
Right.
takes time in order to build
Yes.
your expertise. It takes time, and that's why it's important to have a plan. Now, the
Right.
plan can change, can evolve, but it's important to have one. You know what I mean? So, and
Yes.
some people maybe they just don't, and then you know they
Mm-hmm.
don't focus probably how much they should, right? So,
Right.
I know that you're pretty good at giving advices, especially to early career people. So, for example, from the graduation moment, right? Because it's not that easy, right? Because you as a student, you do
Mm-hmm.
your all your years of study and research and all of that, and then when that is completed, you start again at the very bottom of another chain, another world. Like,
Mhm.
how if I'm someone who just graduated, how what's the next logical step for
Right.
me?
So, yes. So, thank you so much, Stefano. I think it is one of the very important topics where people need our help. Like the industry leaders should be guiding them from their experiences so they don't waste time on the things where we felt we should have improved and we should have paced up the things. So, if I start with my pieces of advice, I think before graduation, you should be knowing what you're going to do in your field. It is not like after the graduation, you're going to discuss or plan or think like, oh, that is the role I am going to be more interested into. I should be, you can say, joining that organization or company. You should be knowing that all just before your graduation even. So before that, I will, you can say, focus more on your uh, journey as a student, and then we will like graduate you in our discussion, and
Mm,
then how you should be doing. So I will go with a stepwise approach, and I want like audience to be taking notes from here on. So I will be like discussing the things more, and they should be listening right now, like the discussion we going to have. So, Stefano, it is GDG program known as Google Developers Groups. That is like a senior program. And then there is a program named as GDSC. So it is a Google Developer Student Clubs, right? Same goes for a Microsoft. There is a program named as MLSA, Microsoft Learning Student Ambassadors.
okay.
Okay. So just before graduation, I want every student to be part of some program where you start building your communication skills, your interpersonal skills, your community building skills. You shouldn't be restricted to your just curriculum or studies only. It is better to have networking as soon as possible. So I think the moment you come in your senior year, you should be you should be part of some program. I will recommend go for a GDSC program, that is Google Developer Student Club, and like after graduation you can go with the GDG. So I started, you can say, joining these programs very early on. I became part of Google Club, and then a Microsoft Club. So I joined all these programs. I built, you can say, very great networking skills,
Mm,
and joined very many workshops. I organized many workshops. I organized many technical events where I actually learned from the industry, right, just before even a graduation. So I think that is the best tip we should be giving to the students. Like you should start building yourself for the industry even before your graduation, and these programs are the best fit for you. So after the graduation, you should have, you can say, done these programs. You should have been part of these programs as a community team member, and after that you should be you should have connections already, like before your, you can say, graduation. You have built actually the connections. You have got to know about some companies, right? So whichever you interacted with. So the moment you graduate, you should be knowing your field. So that is my field: project management, product management, software engineer, whatever. Just before the graduation, you should be specific. That is my role, or that is gonna be my lifetime goal. So the moment you have it, then get the certifications, get whatever you can for that role. Oh, I always say like it is better to, you can say, not play like you know everything. It is always to be a
okay.
low key, right? You should be as a low key, and you should be very open to criticism, feedback, and like knowing from your seniors, knowing from your industry leaders. Have the mentorship as much as you can. It is never be like I know everything and I don't need guide or feedback. So I think that is pretty much about that topic.
Okay, a couple of very interesting stuff. First thing first, I totally do agree. Join whatever community. Of course, the Google community are very good, so we highly recommend to be joining those. But if it's not a Google community, another community, join some group, right? Because it's so important in order to get that networking going, in order to get that what you said was pretty valuable. So if you are part of these groups, chances are that you need to organize event, you need to speak with people, you need to speak to the people, maybe you need to present an event. So those are very valuable skills. Do not get caught into the usual trap, which is as a young person, as a student, don't get caught in this trap that only hard skills. Hard skills are important if you want to become a software engineer, for example. You need to know that discipline, right? But the attitude, the soft skill part, is even more important, especially at that stage, because at that stage, of course, there is no guarantee. No, of course, when you when you take on someone that junior, right, is always a little bit of a bet. So I'm betting on you because I see something in you, right? Because I want to bring you
Right.
as a junior in one of my teams. I want to, empower you. I want to see you grow as a software engineer, right? But there is this, betting element. So of course it's not certain, but if I see a great attitude, the great attitude is really what is potentially putting you apart, right? Because sure, the technical skills of course are important. There will be that person that will be maybe better, technically better compared to other people, but the attitude is very important. I would much rather have someone slightly less technical skills but with the right attitude, because the hard skills can be taught. If you need to completely change someone else's attitude and someone else's personality, is much harder. That's the point. So yes, join one of these groups. They're very, very important, and also yeah, try to have as clear as possible an understanding of what you want to go after. And I think probably summer internships can be quite helpful, right? Because if you do, so I would much rather, if I were someone that doesn't know very well what's next to me, I would much rather experiment during
Mm.
the summer internships, trying to get to the senior year, to the last year, with a slightly better,
Right.
understanding of, idea, because those are different fields.
Hmm.
Even software engineering is a massive field, like doing what? DevOps, backend, frontend, mobile, you
Right.
know, infrastructure, cloud. It's big,
Mm.
big.
Right.
So it's very important to get the exposure of
Right.
these things, especially when you are young, when you are on your junior side of things, and then yeah, try to make a plan.
Right. So, Stefano, on that thing, I will like to add one more thing. Like you have mentioned the roles of software engineering, and like there are many then parts of software engineering field, DevOps, and all these. So there is a confusion. Students who are known not technical, right?
Mm,
Like we mostly find that you can say gap with the you can say women, they don't feel comfortable with technical
mhm,
roles because they think like it is more stressful, so they start you can say exploring other roles. So there is a you can say issue, they don't consider other roles or they don't think of other roles, like they don't know actually like what other roles they
mhm,
can go for. So I think we can have that discussion. So the moment you graduate, it is better to know your interest at first, like your passion, what you want to do, what is your long term goal, what are your short term goals. And for that, what I always give as a strategy, you should take some day and have your everything planned in front of you, like jot down everything you want to achieve in your life, what is actually the ultimate goal of like
mm,
5 or 10 years goal, short term goals, current goal, must do, should do, right?
okay.
You should have like all clarity or visibilities, because only you can understand yourself. Then you start coping someone, you start you can say reading the stories like Mark got you can say struck off from his university, so I should you can say
Mhm.
get out of my college as well to build some startup. No, it is not like that. You should have your own success story, your own
Yeah,
journey.
okay.
And for that I think it is good to have some visibility. And for like non-technical roles, I will suggest people, you should exploring marketing roles, project management roles, product, get some certification into that, and then you will start getting experience by working physically for some company or for some team.
Absolutely, that's pretty valuable. Tech is not just software and engineering. I think it's worth to reiterate this concept. I've had people that I know that came to me saying, "Hey, I found out that I don't like coding that much, so probably tech is not right for me," which is it cannot be further from the truth, right? Because tech is much more. Of course,
Yeah.
software engineering is a very important part, but there is product management, there is project management, UI, UX, which is a gigantic word. So do we want so something that can be helpful, right? So there are at least a few of these: product management, project management, program management,
Right.
and then the last one was even portfolio management. So
Right.
can we try to make sense?
Right.
Because it sounds like it's the same role, which is actually
Yes. So
not.
these look like siblings.
Yeah.
So yes, so Stefano, as I have more, you can say, interest in project management field and then product management field. So yes, we can discuss that roles for the understanding of our audience. So if we go with, you can say, a complete perspective of project management, product management, these are actually the main hot roles, right?
Mhm.
So you will be like seeing project management, product management as current, you can say, very hot topics. So for project management, it is like more service oriented company will be having that project management roles. So they will have some project, can be of client, can be internal project, where you will be managing the project with the deadline, with the budget, risk management, and all these things you will be taking care of. There will be a specific deadline, specific project plan, timeline you have to follow. So it is like a short term project, right? Like it can be of 1 year, 2 years, but it has some deadline for if very, you can say, specific. Then comes the product management role. Product management role is mostly into a startups, okay? Like there you have a SaaS or some standalone product or a web app or mobile app, where you going to manage all the aspects of that app or that product. So you are not going to manage the, you can say, deadline or the budget. It is already established, it is in the place of like users are using it. You have to work on the features, what are the requirements of our users. So product management is actually a continuous role that never ends, because you don't have any deadline, you don't have a you have only definition of success. So there comes a great concept of definition of success. So for the project, it is a good on time delivery.
Mm.
You finish the project, it is a milestone, okay? For product management, it is a continuous. There is only a success. You deliver a good feature, you deliver good requirements what users need, so you keep evolving, you keep changing the you can say your role or your uh, daily routine job. So product management is like a continuous thing, right? Then comes the program management and portfolio management. So in program management, it is like umbrella which has many projects under its umbrella. So project management person or a project manager person will be actually managing multiple projects, multiple project teams, okay? So project management can have multiple projects under its umbrella, multiple project managers under its umbrella. So ultimately it is, at the end of the day, it is a program. So just like if we take example of Google, so there is a program named as GDG. Okay, so a GDG program manager will be managing every project under its umbrella. So it can be event management, it can be a DevRel team, right? So every teams come under its program. It is not just like one project, one stakeholder, all these things. Then at the end, or you can say at the top level, comes portfolio management. So
Mm.
manager is actually managing multiple programs and multiple projects ultimately, right? So portfolio management is like, you can say, top level person who will be managing multiple projects, multiple stakeholders, multiple programs. So you can say you can consider him as the one of the main leadership or a director who actually managing hundred of streams under its umbrella.
Yeah.
So portfolio needs you to be having, you can say more than 20 or 10 years of experience, it is never going to be easy job, because there is a lot of stakeholder management involved. So I think we are good for it. If you have any question, please do ask. So we have like, we better give a great understanding to our audience.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, right? So yeah, we covered these four roles. So so one of the the many differences, the scope, right? So for example, the product managers and the project managers, they often work at team level. So
Mm-hmm.
the project manager or also the product manager,
Mm-hmm.
they are part of the team. They sometimes they lead the team, right? Depends how much product driven is.
Right.
And then we've got the program manager, which actually does not belong in any team, right? Because it's is a role that is supposed to you're
Right.
supposed to manage
Yeah.
multiple
The
teams.
CM making, you can say, more like fixing the things, improving the things. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that was pretty interesting. So the for example, I can chip in saying that in all the teams, all the delivery teams that we have at the times, for example, in the web teams and the mobile teams, of course, these teams look after the our product, which is
Mm-hmm.
the times. So it can be the website or can be the Android or the iOS app. Clearly, in all of these teams, there are both product managers and project managers, right? Because that is due to the job and all of that. Then we also have a platform team. The platform team
Mm-hmm.
is more this infrastructure kind of stuff. So it's not front end, it's more, AWS, Lambda, CI/CD, that kind of stuff. That
Mm-hmm.
team does not have a product manager because there is no product. So that's a team
Right.
that goes on pretty well with a technical project manager. So we have one technical project manager in that team, and that's fine. In other
Mm-hmm.
teams, we need both. We need agile project managers as well as product managers. Because as you correctly said, product management doesn't end because
Mm-hmm.
it means that you need to continually iterate. And in product management, maybe people don't know that there is a lot of experimentation.
Right.
Experimentation is a big part of that role. So experimentation means try new things
Yes, and
and getting
mostly,
feedback from the
yeah.
customer.
Yes, exactly, Stefano. And like, if we give, you can say, a very specific understanding to the roles, you will find project management into service-based companies, and you will find product management roles into a startup, like which has like one product, and now they are building whole company on that, on the top of that product. So that is actually the main understanding you they should be knowing.
Yeah, so pretty good. You say, startup, right? So I know that you are quite interested in the
Mm-hmm.
area. Me, on the other end, for some reason, or at least in the last 10 years or even more of my career, I've been working more for slightly more established company or maybe slightly more corporate, quote unquote, company. But you
Mm-hmm.
are very big on the startup world. Like
Right.
what's why is this there? What's the
Sure.
deal there?
Sure. So, Stefano, just like going before into that topic, like startup is actually a founder journey and all that. Just to help our audience, I am going to share some link with you. It is
Mhm.
actually Google certificates. So I am sharing in the chat. You can please share with your audience, so they can start with some certification from Google directly and gain their experience in their particular field. Can be UX, UI, can be project management. There is a great certification by Google linked with Coursera, so they can get that project management professional certificate from Google. So it really helps a lot. So they can build their skills with that certifications. Now, starting with the startup is, you can say, startup term is has actually boomed very, you can say, drastically years ago,
Mm.
or you can say in 5 years. Everyone wants to build their startup, right? Do they have the experience, or that all this, it never matters. Mostly students are inclined into that vertical. They want to be a founder. Okay, it
Okay,
can be for
interesting.
the namesake only, right? So like I am very critical into that sense, and I will be sharing some feedbacks on that, just as understanding building the foundations. A startup is actually a unique idea, a unique product, a unique solution which can contribute into society positively, improves the lives of the people with the help of digital technology or innovation. So they it actually ease their life with some tech solution. Okay, so startup is like actually that is the core concept of the
Hmm.
startup. So it can be a unique idea and it can be a non-unique idea. So with non-unique idea we can understand like there is a product, there is a solution in the market already, and you think there are some improvements needed, and I can build better version of that which can add more value to the users or customers, and it can be like globally best fit or for the market, right? So you can build non-unique idea as well, like you should be having some interesting value proposition, we call it, some uniqueness in that, like
Hmm.
what they are not doing and you're gonna do it, like what is actually the unique point. So that is how it is related. So if we go with the startup journey and all that, I think it is like people think is as a glittering and very interesting and exciting. It is actually very difficult field. Like you have to be a very risk taking. You are not going to earn very soon. Okay, it is not like on
Hmm.
daily basis you are earning money and you are building the stuff. It is never a happy journey. Actually, it is
You are playing for the long run.
yes, it is actually a roller coaster, right? Of emotions, of decisions, of team. Everything goes very, you can say, ups and downs, right? A lot of ups and downs. Stefan, there is a concept which I have, you can say, started uh, like learning, and I actually give the feedback to the people who are interested into that startup ecosystem. Life has hard path and easy path. Okay,
Hmm.
I will say easy path is going into 9 to 5 job and like following the routine, that common routine, learning your experiences on joining some company, adding your value. That is actually the easy path in terms of startup hard path. Startups comes as a hard path. You are the controller, but there comes a great responsibility. You have to take risk, and that can be like financial breakdown you can face. You can face, you can say your idea doesn't work well as you thought, your teams doesn't perform as you thought, so you are actually taking charge of everything, and things cannot, like it is not sure like you're gonna be successful. Okay, it is again, it is like experimentation. So I think it's very hard path. Okay, and you should only be going into startup when you have burned the boats, and you
Hmm.
know I can survive for years, I have some savings in my hand, I can have that risk power. I don't like going to have, if I have a setback, I can recover, right? So the moment you have that, I will say backup plans, it is better to go with the startup ecosystem. So I think that is the visibility they should be knowing before exploring the startup ecosystem. Every graduate be like, I wanna be founder. And when we ask what is your experience, they be like, oh,
Hmm.
we are very innovative, we have a lot of ideas. You cannot have a lot of ideas, it is actually execution. So it is actually
Exactly.
implementation. So how you implement the things, and as a student, as a fresh graduate, you cannot implement the things. There is a like you can say great perspective, you can, but there are many, you can say, risk involved and less chances of success.
That's very interesting. Exactly. It's not about the idea.
Like,
Of course, the idea is important, clearly,
mhm,
but it's about the execution. So I can tell everyone that I'm about to launch a startup about that thing because it's down to execution, right? So
right.
you don't even need to be afraid or scared that someone's stealing your
Yeah,
idea, right? Is that's not about that, you know. No,
yeah,
that's I'm totally 1000% agree.
right.
What do you think there is? What do you think there is the case where quite a few students they want to do exactly that? Is
Right.
something because it's cool, some
Mhm.
Hollywood,
Mhm.
vision. They want to make a quick buck.
Yes.
Like
Yes,
why?
sure. Sure. So, Stefano, I think in past years we have seen many success stories like $80 million funding, $100 million funding and all that, right? So everyone thinks like the last stage, they think as a first stage, oh, we're gonna get that much money. They don't know they were working for years. They had to face many setbacks. They had to face, like, even they got bankrupt in that process, right? Like there is a lot of roller coaster ride. So people don't think so. And the fresh graduates actually, or the students, they don't want to actually go into that routine life of 9 to 5, and they be like, oh, I think we can build the things
Mm.
ourselves. And we actually, I will say there is a Stefano, I think there is a like misconception which students or more people have. They wanna be founder. That is it. That is actually the goal of their life. It is not actually adding the value. Okay, they wanna be founder. That's it. It
Yeah.
seems cool. Okay, you seems like a very established person when you're a founder. Okay, but in reality, you are having a lot of roller coaster ride in background, a lot of noise going on, because you don't know, am I gonna be successful, or all these years I'm spending instead of doing job or getting experience or networking with the people, I am just having my own shell or own
Hmm.
boundary, which I am working on, and it is just like stressful situation you have created around yourself. You could have gone into market, you could have got good years of experience, good understanding what people need, what is actually the need of the market, and then you should be working on your ideas. I always say you should note down your every idea. Not, you can say like every idea is important. Every idea is actually some, has some background, has some motivation, has some inspiration. You should never underestimate your ideas. Okay, it is good to jot down and put them in your garage. Okay, like the moment you get some understanding of the industry, you should start building as a side hustle, as a part-time. The moment you get 100% confidence, 100% drive, go for it. Okay, then there is no way back. You should go give your full, you should play as much you can and give your best. Okay, but the moment you have the confusion, I think you're not going to be a good founder.
Hmm.
So, as a founder, you need 100% drive, 100% passion and motivation.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you are selling. You are
Mhm.
selling that. You don't have that much more than that
Really.
in the initial stages. Also, yeah, I totally get that. There are so many success story happen. You know, these
Mhm.
big unicorns, right? You know, everyone wants to
Mhm.
become the next unicorn. So but now we should also say we don't want to, you know, shatter anyone's dream, but now is more difficult, unfortunately,
Uh-huh.
because that
Yes,
something
yeah.
generally happen, like the, you know, interest rate now are quite high, so borrow money costs money,
Uh-huh.
whilst like
Exactly.
10 years back was costing almost nothing. So the years 20,
Mhm.
right after the house crisis, so 2010, that kind of size. So that decade, 2010, 2020, because then, you know, COVID happened. It was another, yeah, terrible things. But you know, in that decade, we saw pretty much the Airbnbs, the
Mhm.
Uber, the all these gigantic,
Mhm.
you know, companies. So probably everyone remembers those
Yeah.
guys all over there. But now it's even more difficult, because now it's genuinely difficult to get a funding round. It's
Right.
difficult to get money, and that's why
Mhm.
we are witnessing layoff after layoff after layoff. Unfortunately, big tech, medium-sized company, startup.
Most
It's
of
been
the
a
time.
weird year. It's been a very weird year. What's your take
Yes,
on that?
Stefano, we call it as a post-pandemic
Mm,
economic downfall. Okay, and there is a recession going on, and people have to, you can say, manage their budget, manage their headcount. They cannot like have the fundraising of, you can say, 100K,
mm,
or let's like call it as 10 million, And what the first thing or first mistake they do, they hire a lot of people even they don't need them. Okay, they just want to expand, you can say, their product abilities or product features.
Mm,
So they hire a lot of the people which even they don't need in years. Okay, so they burn the money very quickly. Before pandemic you could afford these mistakes, but after
yeah.
pandemic everything has been very calculated. There is a very less margin left to have the mistakes, right? And then like VC, like known as venture capitalist, who actually give you the money, who actually trust you, have seen many setbacks, have seen many past, you can say, success stories, and then the challenges they have faced. They have become more selective in their approach. Okay, so it is
Mm,
not like you have a unique idea and you are destined to get a fundraising. It is never going to happen. You have to give some proof of some traction, some revenue, some user base, and then you can like prove yourself. And I think again, Stefano, the thing is, you cannot have that you can say space around where you could play like for years without having any issues of being calculated. You have to be calculated in your decisions and money, because we are facing a recession right now, and things have got tougher, and like
mm.
things are getting tougher actually day by day.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, if you want to do that, please do that, but be mindful. That's
Yeah.
what we are, the message that we want to convey is impossible. Nothing is impossible. But if you want to try this path,
Mhm.
do your research first.
Right.
That's what pretty much what we
Exactly.
want to
Exactly.
tell people.
Mhm.
I have another question for you actually. So this is maybe a weird one, right? So you finished your university, right? Your
Graduation.
yeah, graduation. Okay,
Mhm.
brilliant. So what do you think? Maybe one or two things, not that many, but maybe one or two things that you wish university would have taught you, and maybe that wasn't the case, and that thing you had to learn the hard way, or maybe learn or your own time. What
Right.
is that the kind of
Mhm.
stuff that you say university can really do a slightly better job at
Right.
that?
Right. So, Stefano, I think like there is a the moment we are into project, you can say professional field, we have got to know like, oh, there were some subjects which we took for granted because we didn't know the utilization of these courses after graduation, because we were never told like how they
Mm,
are going to help you in your professional life. These were just for the sake of courses, that's it. Okay, there were no practical understanding involved or practical motivation involved, right? So I think the
okay.
professors or the university should be creating some like program in parallel to your daily routine, where they should be counseling the students on their career actually. Okay, so they know that is our path, that is what interests us, and that is what we should be exploring. These are the programs or the courses I should be opting if they are even not offering, like in my, you can say, degree. I should be having them, these courses as optional, like without even credits. Okay, like
Mm,
however you can learn these courses, you should be knowing your possibilities. So I think universities needs to have some type of that program, or we call it as a session or a some non-credit course even,
mm,
as career counseling. It should happen like once a semester, or we should say like every month. It should be like that, so people reflect, students reflect on themselves, what we
mm.
want to achieve, what is actually the end goal of that degree. So at the end it is just the piece of the paper. Okay,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and we are again, as you said, we are again on the scratch, and now it is again a complete different story in industry life or a professional life. So these 4 years or whatever you have spent in your graduation or your university is actually not interlinking with your professional life. It should have a very smooth transition. It should
That's
have very
correct.
smooth, you can say, transition of like jumping from graduation to a professional life. It is different, entire different industry or entire different market, because university is just under the shell.
Mhm.
have created their boundaries, not have bridging the gap between academia and industry. They should be working on that actually.
Well, I couldn't hope for a better, answer, because that is exactly my take
Yeah.
as well for what I know, and that's why I started this another little project called GDG Academy, which
Mm-hmm.
is towards the university students, and we work like with the GDSCs group.
Mm-hmm.
So we are Imperial College.
Wow.
We've done the pilot of the program with the GDSCs of Imperial College, and
Wow.
now we are about to roll again in end of September or something like that. Hopefully, with more. There are some contacts with the LSE, King's College. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, more
That's
university
really
will
great,
join.
Stefano, you are doing, and I will like appreciate. You should be sharing that link in the comment section or the description because it is very relevant to our chat, and we
Yeah,
really
yeah,
want to upskill the young professionals so they should like gain experience, and we are going to uplift you. We are going to empower you because we have been into that stage, right?
exactly.
Now we want to fill that gap, and Stefano is, I think, doing very well. And Stefano, please keep doing this thing, and it is really helpful for the young professionals.
Yeah, hopefully that was exactly my intention. So the feedback of the pilot were pretty
Mhm.
positive. So we were more
Amazing.
than willing. Of course, it was not just me. Maybe that was the idea was mine, but of course, in order to do something like that, it
Mhm.
cannot be just me. So that's why I've got a few mentors. I was able to gather a few mentors. Now, if more university will join, I need to gather even more. But it's fun. Is
Right.
the fun part. And also another thing, and of course, what we quote unquote teach, we are not actually teaching, right? Is
Mhm.
more of a mentorship,
Right.
program, because that I think that's the
Coaching and counseling.
yeah, that's the right angle, right? That we need to, because we are not teaching someone to get better at coding in Java.
Mhm.
They are
Mhm.
gonna do that
Right.
using in their own time. We
Right.
we want to exactly, we want to again, we want to bridge this gap
Yes. Yes.
between
Clear their
how it
vision. But
works
yes, clear their vision. What they should be doing and what they
they should
shouldn't
be
be
doing.
doing.
But for example, even sharing pretty simple info like what's a team structure, like okay, how many software engineer, how many project managers, that's important to know a typical team structure, a org chart,
Mhm.
what a career ladder looks like how many levels, what those levels
Yes.
are, can I
Complete
choose.
roadmap. Yes.
Yeah, all this kind of stuff, those are pretty important. How the agile work, right? So when
Mhm.
you join an organization, chances are they're
Yeah.
working using that ways of
Yes.
working. So
And
trying to
Stefano,
ease
yes,
in.
yes, Stefano, like very interesting term you have mentioned, agile,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Like it is very unfortunate, like students graduate and they never come across that term of agile, right? There is like very, you can say, uh, unfortunate actually, I call it, because our curriculum is not that much updated with that Scrum or agile things and why you should be more using that model instead of that model. So like
yeah.
practical knowledge is missing again, right? What industry needs. So it is good you people are doing, and I think we need more agile development techniques and strategies, and students should be knowing where they will be more creative and productive.
Absolutely. Agile is the industry standard. So
Mhm.
it's very important to know. So we're really trying to convey these kind of messages about what's the industry
Mhm.
standard of a way of working, or, all those kind of things. And also, very importantly, there are also a few internships.
Wow.
That's also pretty cool. I was able to have a little deal with my
Mhm.
company. We are
Mhm.
currently having a intern. So there is
Mhm.
a Nishant,
Mhm.
which is of course part of GDSC Imperial College.
Wow.
So he attended all the course, the program, and then he was shortlisted for
Mhm.
this summer internships, 8 weeks, and is
Mhm.
currently working in one of the my teams at the times,
Amazing.
until the end of the month. So this is also, I found out how important is for university students, how important is for them to
Mhm.
land a internship. I
Right.
didn't know how paramount, especially for computer science people. For some reason, it's very important. So
Agree.
just to add this to the you know program, as turn out to be valuable. So
Right. That is the perfect thing you people are doing, and they need to build a connection with the industry, right? So with that internship, they have got to know the understanding what industry needs and what I should be focusing during my studies. So it is actually the reflection they get
yeah,
very early on instead of graduating and then exploring. So you have actually saved much time and energy of them beforehand.
hopefully, yeah. So we will keep doing that, and hopefully the program can scale. So I mean, we'll
That's
see. We'll see. We'll
that's
see
it.
how it goes. Another quick question for you. Uh, is there, let's getting back to the university period, like, is there any particular challenge that you think that you faced? So something
Okay.
specific that you
Right.
were able to fix, and you
Sure.
can maybe say how to the
Sure.
people.
So, Stefano, like I was graduated during, you can say, pandemic era.
Mm,
Okay, that was
yeah.
very unfortunate. Okay, so what I have faced, or what I think, I had a lot of success stories in my hood or under my, you can say, cap.
Mm.
So the moment I was the first person to get Google and Microsoft introduced into my campus. So I was the founder of actually
Ah,
these clubs. I was the first ever person in the history of my campus uh, who actually brought these clubs into their universities and got selected for these programs, right?
really good.
But I have some, you can say, demotivation at that time. My campus couldn't understand or couldn't value these things like what I actually did for the
Okay, I
students.
see.
So I
Yeah.
think whatever now what I do, I always volunteer my time to the juniors, and even currently I am very busy into my life, like professional life. A lot things are going on, but I have promised with myself, like whoever is taking any initiative in my university or campus, I should be supporting him at any cost.
Mm.
Okay, I am connecting him with the right teachers, with the right professors. I am connecting him with the right industry leaders and industry, you can say, companies. So he should be having complete back support. So he can be more motivated. He can inspire more students. He can add more value to the students. So students are not actually being paid to do these things. They are doing just due to their motivation drive. Okay. So the moment you have ignited that much motivation into them, I think they can do wonders. They will be good leaders. They will be like more motivated to do good things in return. So I think that is the only possible contribution we should be doing, and we should always be promoting the talent in our university, allowing them to do like impossible things and making success stories going beyond your campus, having that partnerships with other campuses, exploring what they want to do together. So I think that is how university should be promoting or supporting their talent actually.
Uh, Partnership is a very important word here, because in life generally it's very difficult to do things just, yeah, me. It's not me, it's us, right? So you need to find the team, you need to find the community, you need to find
Mhm.
an entity, I don't know,
Mhm.
something along those lines.
Mhm.
Now, I totally get, I think, your struggle at the time, because you really believed, and you clearly still believe in these kind of projects like the GDSC or the
Mhm.
Microsoft
Mhm.
equivalent. But
Mhm.
I totally get that was not easy to convince the
Mhm.
right people. I don't know, there is, I would imagine, someone that at some
Mhm.
point should
Mhm.
take the call. So it's someone's call to say yes or no, I would imagine, at some point. So do
Mhm.
you think there is also a case where it's very important to get to know the person that you are talking with? So in that case, that person for you was almost a stakeholder, right? Because that was, kind of like we can think in those terms. So
Hmm.
do you think that, like, how important is to get to know your quote
Yes.
unquote
So,
stakeholders?
yes, so Stefano, in that sense, are we discussing the university period or like for the campus students?
Hmm. Yeah, campus students.
Okay, so Stefano, you should be actually choose some teacher or choose some professor where you have some synergy or where you have some like more open space or you feel more friendly
Mm,
with him or with her discussing the things you want to achieve, uh, things you are working on beside your studies, okay, sharing your success stories with him or her. So he or she should be knowing where you need your help or where you need your his or her support, okay. So the moment you have some selected some teachers or some professors, that is the moment you are going to, you can say, start getting things in your campus, because you know you have some support system in your campus, and you know he or she understands you better, like you are doing for everyone. You are doing not for yourself, it is for the betterment of
yeah.
everyone, and in return overall campus is going to get benefited from that program, right? There is a program I have shared in the chat, please do share with that audience. It is known as a GitHub Campus Experts. That is like for
Okay.
the technical people. It is like GitHub. No one can underestimate that platform. Okay, it is like the daily routine platform every software engineer or a technical person needs to use in future or even currently. So there is a program shared by them as campus experts, like as a education program. Same like Google, same like Microsoft, you will be actually a campus expert and you will be organizing events and bridging that gap between academia and
Mm,
industry. So I think the moment you get selected into that program, you might need some recommendation letter or something. You should have some like teachers who should be knowing that program. You should like give them the understanding, if they don't have, how it is going to help students, how it is going to help campus. And with that, he or that professor can approach director or the VC, we call it like the
mm,
principal of your
yeah.
college or the university, and they can like give you more support system, right? Ultimately student programs never need any investment from your side financially, right? Every program is for free. So you shouldn't be like needing any fundraising or funds from your campus. Only thing is you need someone from your campus who can take care of your you can say things where you need help. So I think we have shared so far, we have shared four programs with the students or with our audience or early professionals: Microsoft, Google, and then Google certificates, and then GitHub Campus Expert. So I think these are the best programs I have been part of. I have got good experience, and I think everyone should be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I really don't see any reason why anyone shouldn't. What was the single thing? Can be a workshop, a event, a something, anything. The single thing among all of the stuff
Mhm.
that you just mentioned that you can say, I'm really proud of that.
Okay, so Stefano, I think there are two things. One is like the programs, and then the networking or the people or the
Yeah.
persons you have met who have inspired you, right? So if I call or I reflect on the program, I think that was a GDSC, Google
Okay.
Developers Club. I was the president of all clubs in Pakistan, in my home country, and I like managed, or I, you can say, led that all clubs. For every lead, I guided. I built a community. I helped them with events organization, partnerships with the industry leaders, with companies, right? So I am proud of that because I managed, I think, 50 cities or 50 campuses in total. And
Mm,
I empowered every lead, because like the moment you get responsibility of growing your campus chapter or campus club, you don't know like how to get started, right?
exactly.
Where I how I can, you can say, organize an event, because you have to find a guest, you have to find a topic, you have to find industry leader, you have to find a sponsor even sometimes, like
Yeah.
for mega events. So there is a lot of things you have to experience. So that is like I you can say took that responsibility, and I helped every student with that. And I think it's very great experience you start building. Like just before graduation you are actually managing a company, in short, right?
Yeah, no,
You,
absolutely.
yes. So you are managing a team, you are managing, you are hiring the team, you are managing the team, you are building a company actually, not as a community. That is like I'm proud of, or I should be like inspiring and motivating every student to do that. Please don't spend your years just to pass your degree. It is better to get, you can say, these experiences, these community building experiences. Then comes Stefano people. I think there is like I have you can say experienced or have seen or observed, there are two type of groups in every class or in every
Mm,
campus. One is like passing the time, others are like hustlers, or you can say
yeah,
restless people who just like want to do something. Okay, they are
yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
active, they are ready to volunteer, they are attending conferences, workshops, they are very active in that sense. I call them very serious to their career or very serious with their timeline or goals, right? Goals oriented persons or students. I love that category, and I always, you can say, recommend everyone to just don't please pass the years, but
Hmm.
belong to these groups. Okay, even if you cannot lead, like there are persons who are like introvert, or you can say have don't much, they have no courage to lead. Okay, you can be a part of the team, indirectly you will start learning the things. So it is good to be a part of that team, good to part of that networking sessions. And if I say, these have actually inspired me. My circle were like including every active person who was doing something in their, you can say, class, in their campus, in their field, right? They were not just like chilling or passing the years. So
Yeah,
this inspired me to like do more work, because you get a motivation like, hey, that person is doing this thing, I should be doing this, that thing, right? You will never get rested like, oh, everything is going on very smoothly, because you don't have the competition. You should have some competition around. You should have, you should go out of your comfort zone actually, right? So the moment you come out of your comfort zone, everyone says good things happen. Okay, you explore
of
more
course.
things. So I think in this university life, be risk-taking person, be like play as a full person. You don't, you are not restricted to studies only, or that bench or the desk only, or that classroom only. Entire world is yours. You are learning and you are gaining experience. That is the best investment you can do early on.
Yeah, and that's how important it is to have to be surrounded by like-minded people. Like, if you want to be successful, you should start to surround yourself
Right.
by successful people, right?
100%.
Because you need to live and breathe
Right.
those kind of stuff. That's very important. That's very,
Agree.
very important. The inspiration, the also the challenge, like, oh wow, why this person, what was able to do that.
Mhm.
Maybe
Mhm.
if I want, I
Mhm.
can I can do that too, right? That's
Mhm.
very, very important. Yeah, we are almost out of time, but I need to ask at least the last question. All right. So someone that sees your LinkedIn profile, I see Global Talent, PMI certified, follow at McKinsey, partner at Asana, ambassador as Microsoft, dev lead. Oh my God, you do, and then many other things. Like, how can you do all of this? Like,
Right. So
teach us,
Stefano,
teach us.
yes, yes. So Stefano, I got very serious during even my campus. Okay,
Mm,
I actually set a goal for me. I actually set a timeline for me. There is a very recent post I did recently for actually my connections and for young professionals. You shouldn't be, you can say, passing the years. Okay, like, hey, I have a lot of years in front of me and many years to pass on, I will learn some experience, like that is the process. No, you have to actually plan your life. You are in control. That is your life. You should, like, you should be a workaholic. Okay, I always say, like, these 4 years will pass on, but the 10 years or 20 years after your graduation will not pass on. There is a lot of struggle going on financially. Okay,
yeah,
everything is happening for, like, in your life. For that university time period, gain as much experience you can, get certifications as much you can, do self development as much you can. You shouldn't be, you can say, passing on these years. That is what I suggest. So if you call me that, like how did you manage, like I passed university, and before passing that I had like developed AI application. Was having experience in data science, AI, ML, everything. Like I explored. Okay, so the moment I graduated, I reflected on like what actually motivates me, what actually gives me, you can say, more motivation and trust. And I
Mhm.
felt management things like help me out. I was a software engineer, I was a
Okay.
technical person, every like thing I did. And then I thought like there is a Stefano, there is a lot of you can say misconception going on.
Mm.
Management persons doesn't know about technical field, so they don't know what technical persons are facing these challenges, or how he or she can
Get out.
contribute or improve,
Mm.
right? So I felt like as a technical person I know every challenge like I faced. So if I come on a management role very early on, I can be a very smooth bridge in between both stakeholders,
Okay.
right? So that was the motivation I had. And again, the tip is only please set your timeline. That is like for 1 year I have to do that job. And this, there is very interesting story I want to just, you
Hmm.
can say, share. The moment I joined my company, every time you can say I felt I could be doing better. Okay, like that is might be not a good role for me, or I am like, you can say, not doing well. So I actually, instead of like blaming the company or blaming the team, I actually worked on my you can say skills. I you can say contributed on self development, increased my skills, instead of like increasing my years of experience, because I don't have the control on that. It
Of
has
course.
to be 365 days a year, right? But you can develop more core, you can say certifications, you can have, like I will say, please play fearlessly. That is the only youth period you have. So play fearlessly in your professional life. Don't please pass on the years.
That I think is one of the best advices that we could have
Mhm.
given to people. Absolutely, yes. I don't have anything to add because that's I truly sorry, I truly should believe that. All
Mhm.
right. I thank you so very much. That was so inspiring, was so interesting. We touched upon very important and critical, you know, topics. So thank you, Muhammad. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, hopefully we should have another one of these at
Sure.
some point soon.
Sure. So just like concluding remarks
Hmm.
from my side,
Yep.
as a chat GDG platform, Stefano, what contribution you are doing to the people or your audience, I think that is very remarkable,
Oh,
because there
thank
is
you.
no such platform where persons from professional field are volunteering their time, okay, their experiences, and we are actually helping the people or the persons who are actually be in our field or in our stage after some years. So we want you, like our audience or our followers,
Hmm.
to be please very mindful of these things and don't repeat the mistakes. Okay, be improved version of ourselves, and be
Exactly.
like have some social impact in your life and community. Give back to the community. That is the motivation of Google developers actually, and that is what we have learned. Sharing is caring, and give back to the community, because you never know what reward you're gonna get after volunteering your time and energy. So thanks to you, Stefano, actually, and
I
you have
appreciate
invited
that.
me for that platform. Good luck to you, whatever you are doing, and best wishes for everything.
Likewise. Thanks. I appreciate that. Very wise words. Thank you. And yeah, thanks everyone. Episode number 6 is out. And yeah, I'll see you next time.